is. What day is it?
The 12th.
This stupid computer here doesn't put the date on it, so I have to look all the way over to this computer to find out what day it is.
Can you change
No,
the
it
dates on
doesn't
there?
work that way.
Is there like a calendar app you can download?
No, I mean, I could hover over it, it'll tell me, but I just want to look and see what it is.
You got an actual physical calendar. They still make those.
You might put a fucking calendar on my desk so I can tell you what day it is?
That is what calendars are for,
I
yes.
still have to know what day it is to look at the calendar to find out what day it is.
Excuse me.
Okay, listen, you jackass. If I look on my computer, it's gonna tell me what day it is. If I look at a calendar that has a bunch of fucking numbers on it, I may not even know what day it is, much less what day it is. Do you understand?
No, but I'm done.
Is it Tuesday? Is it fucking Thursday? I know Vinny's here, so it ain't fucking Wednesday. What fucking day is it? A blank calendar is not gonna tell me what day it is. The computer tells me what day it is. Do you understand? Why is it so hard for you to figure out? Jeez, me Christmas.
Hi, everyone. How are you doing?
Tell us about your battle with diabetes you've defeated.
I won.
Yeah.
I'm not diabetic now.
You're not that what?
I'm not diabetic now.
I thought you said you're not that big now.
Well, not that
You're
either.
not that big either.
Smaller now, yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, I saw the doctor on, well, yesterday. And she said your A1C is down to, I believe it was 5.2.
Wow.
And it was,
I don't know what that means.
It was, I want to say it was like 7 something in October. Anything over 5.8 is bad news. And then she said, you're completely normal. And I said, no one's ever called me that before.
Wow.
So,
Completely normal.
Yeah.
But now you got to stick with it, Vinny.
this is the key.
I don't want to see you show up with a fucking giant Gatorade again.
Yeah, I thought about just like a bucket of chicken. Just walking
I mean, that wouldn't be that bad.
The two? Well,
Trust me, drinking the straight Gatorade would be worse for your diabetes than having some fried chicken.
that's true. Although even the Gatorade I've been drinking has been the low sugar version for years.
I see.
But so that's good.
I'm talking the real
Your voice stands.
big time,
like
strong.
a big giant 42-ounce Mountain Dew Code Red.
Yes, that's a bad idea.
That's a terrible idea.
I know this because my dad had what you had. Because for whatever reason, and I don't even really know why, but if it was work schedule or whatever, but he just like, he wouldn't eat during the day.
Mm-hmm.
He would not eat until dinner time. And so all day long, he just had this big ass thing of lemonade.
Okay.
And he would just be drinking lemonade like all day long.
Yeah, that's bad.
And then like, you know, he came over for some holiday and I was like, God, he looks skinny. Why is he looking so skinny? And then, you know, I saw him again and he was skinny and it was weird. And then he went to the doctor and he'd basically given himself diabetes.
Yeah.
And he told them what he was doing and they said, you gotta stop doing that.
Yeah.
You eat like a normal person. Actually, they didn't recommend that because he'd be worse off. But they gave him like a healthy diet. And then, like, he did that and now he's fine. So it was basically similar to what you did.
Cool.
But the big thing was don't not eat all day and drink lemonade.
Right.
For 12 straight hours.
That is a bad diet plan.
That's a very poor diet plan.
That's even worse than what I was doing, actually.
But both of you have defeated this disease.
Yeah.
So congratulations. Now you got to stick to it.
Keep doing what you're doing. is what
That's
he said.
right.
So, yeah.
Yes, Rob.
Well, you know, as long as we're giving medical updates here on the show.
Can you talk into the mic, or is it going to be
Was that
another
not-
medical update
I-
when I hit you with that thing?
How dare you threaten me?
Okay, go
Vinny,
ahead.
you heard that. He threatened me.
I was going to threaten you, too, if you didn't talk to the mic.
Fair enough. So actually,
It tilted up. Is it turned down?
I don't know. See, this is all your fault. It's not my fault.
I don't think it's my fault.
No, he's not talking either. I watched it.
Okay.
Am I talking?
There we go. Now we're talking.
Okay. Fantastic. Yeah. So I had a colonoscopy on Friday.
Yep.
And which was a fun-filled, pleasurable experience, and I recommend all men 45 to 55 do that.
Oh, he's lowering it to 45 now.
That's what my
Supposed to
doctor.
be 50.
That's what my doctor told me. So I'm not going to argue with
He
him.
tells me that when I'm 43.
But yeah, so I just got. I had apparently had a couple of polyps removed, and I got the results today, and apparently all the polyps were non-cancerous.
Excellent.
So hooray for me! I don't have cancer, and
That's
huzzah,
good.
huzzah.
Can they
But I
do
have
a
to go back
brain
and get another
scan?
one in 3 years? There's no help for me there.
I don't want to make fun of you, Rob. I just have to tell the story on the air.
Please do. Go ahead.
So, before the show starts, Rob starts moving all of the stuff on the table, because there's shit on this table, okay? And so he's moving everything, and he's like, where can I put this? And I said, just put it right here, because Craig's not here tonight. Craig, by the way, everybody in the other medical update, he's sick. That's why he's not here tonight. So hopefully Craig feels better soon. But anyway, starts moving all all this shit. And I said, just put it right here. And he goes, well, I'm putting Giraffe here. I was like, when are we going to cut to Giraffe? At what point in the show are we going to cut to Giraffe? You know what I'm saying?
He's in control. He can cut to him whenever he wants.
I'm just wondering, like, are we going to randomly cut to Giraffe in the middle of a conversation?
Am I still on?
Yeah, of course you're still on.
I'm going to cut to Giraffe every fucking time you talk now.
You better not, because there's fucking Sprite cans right there.
Good.
Diet Sprite, I might add. No calories.
No, here you go. Oh, shit, I don't have preset on any.
And I'm going to have to listen to all these numbskulls talking about how this, Sprite Zero is worse than Sprite with sugar. Trust me, it's going to be all over the thread tomorrow.
I'm sure it will.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about these shows here.
Raw was hideously dull.
It was bad.
WWF Monday Night Raw, number 355, March 13th of the year 2000. So on SmackDown,
Sorry.
Rob's distracting everybody with his swig of. What was that a swig of, Rob?
Is that diet or is it not?
It is not. It is cherry bubbly sparkling water.
Cherry bubbly
with sugar?
sparkling water.
No sugar.
Okay.
Sparkling water, Brian.
I got it. All right. You're off the hook.
Thank you.
So on SmackDown, The Rock beat Chris Benoit and Perry Saturn in a handicap match, and then he had a handicap tables match with the Dudleys in the same show. It's not clear to me who won. Later in that show, he tried to save Rikishi. He got laid out by Hunter and Show, and that was it. And that is the build for WrestleMania. The two heels in the main event conspiring to avoid what the fans want. So here on Raw, the Helmsleys come out.
Why in the fuck is my notes not opening? Is there anything else going to go wrong today?
Do you need them for this show? Nothing happened.
Well, yeah, sometimes I write things that I want to remember.
Well, I'll talk for a while. You just tell us to kill for time.
I do know that in the opening segment, which went 21 fucking minutes.
Yes.
And I do not need notes to remember that. 21 fucking minutes. The show opens with a recap of SmackDown. And then they do a 21-minute boring-ass promo with the same fucking clips from SmackDown.
Correct. So the Helmsleys are out and Shayna Show are out. And they're recapping SmackDown. I was bored to death 10 minutes into the show. 10 minutes into this promo. Hunter took... You've never seen more build-up for less payoff for a masturbation joke than what Triple H did in this promo. They bring out some minis and say these are the Rock's opponents for Mania. They'll do a tuxedo match with these minis, or an evening gown match with these minis, or, as Hunter says, anything is good on a pole. So, midget on a pole match, he says. Eventually, The Rock comes out, he talks forever, and finally, he challenges the Big Show for a match tonight. If Rock wins, he's in the WrestleMania main event. If he loses, he retires. And if anyone interferes, he wins. Took 20 minutes to do this.
21 minutes! Just went on absolutely forever. And I think, like, the idea was they were supposed to make you hate it so much you would pop big when The Rock came out. Like, maybe there was a chance we weren't going to pop big when The Rock came out. But fuck, did they ever achieve that goal? This was just appallingly boring. And way too long.
The Snickers Slam of the Week is Jeff Hardy missing a senton and Steve Blackman pinning him with a horrible top rope kick. This leads to the Hardys versus Head Cheese. We get a backstage gimmick where Al now wants to be a time-traveling crime fighter.
Is my internet down? Like, is anything working right now? I can't open anything right now.
You want to start the show over?
No, I don't want to start the show over. I mean, I just want to know what's going on here. Why can't I get anything? I can't even log in to my computer right now.
It's your computer.
Please wait. Well, I don't want to wait. I got work to do here. Is Google down?
Not that I can tell.
Check your Gmail.
Okay.
Rob thinks that's funny, but it's a serious question.
I got my Gmail loaded. No error message. Open the other account here.
It's got a...
No. It's your computer, man.
Oh my God. Anything else?
We're not live. You want to hit pause?
No, I don't want to hit pause. Keep going. These people need to understand the trials and tribulations that go on in my life.
How hard it is to be Brian
On
Alvarez.
a daily basis. They don't understand. I edit all this shit out. Now you're going to hear about it. Yes, Rob. Nothing? Okay.
No, actually, if you want.
Well, I don't want, but go ahead.
Thank you. So, since I work in IT, we deal with this quite often, and as a general rule, we call this an ID10T error.
Excuse me?
I said we call this instance an ID10T error.
An ID10T error?
Yes.
Oh, the identity of the... Yeah.
Write down ID10T.
Would you shut up? I'm doing this right now. I got it working. Okay, now we're up and running. It was Google. Do you work for Google?
No, I did not
You
work for
better not. Twitter. All right, go ahead.
Well, that'll go well for you.
Yeah. When I really get mad, I have to rant on Twitter. That usually solves the problem.
It does.
I got free pizzas and all sorts of shit. It still won't open in Google Docs. Ah, fuck it. Go ahead.
So as they're talking here about the state of the WWF in March of 2000, they mentioned that Mick Foley is retired, and then they say he is done for good at the ripe old age of 34.
Yeah, he was 34 then.
I was flabbergasted.
Can you imagine?
I've been watching him for the past several years. I thought he had to be in his 40s, late 40s.
No, Vinny.
He had a hard life.
All right, so I finally got my notes here. And for those of you wondering, the first segment was too long.
Oh,
Yes.
insightful.
Is this fucking over yet? I wrote in all caps. Very important, I got my notes open to read that to everybody.
I believe I mentioned you don't need notes for the show.
Well, yes. Have we got to the Hardys versus Al Snow and Steve Blackman?
They're doing this horrible match.
Can we talk about the time travel gimmick?
I mentioned it, but you have more to say.
It's one of those things where, like, Al Snow's comedy is so hit and miss. It's like miss 90% of the time, but, like, he had a guy dressed up as Abe Lincoln.
Yeah, Abraham Lincoln was his guest.
I thought that was funny. It was ridiculous.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
That we can agree on.
And you know what's weird is they had this match, and Al Snow and Steve Blackman are not a bad team. They actually worked fairly well together.
Mm-hmm.
They had, like, a drop toe hold into a knee and
Yeah.
a couple of other spots. And,
Sure.
Yeah.
So everyone's doing.
The finish.
It wasn't a horrible match or a horrible finish. Everyone's doing random shit as fast as they possibly can. And then Steve Blackman hits the top rope kick. And he lays out Jeff Hardy with it. At this point, Matt is supposed to hit Steve with a moonsault.
Let me explain what actually happened. I laughed so hard. Matt is supposed to come off the top with a moonsault onto Steve Blackman. Steve Blackman hit his kick, and I have no earthly idea how. He totally forgot what was next. He hit his big kick, and he just stood there and he looked at Jeff Hardy. And Matt decided, I'm going. You fucking better turn around. Well, the guy didn't turn around, and you just see Matt's body flying through the air and crashing violently. And you know what? When you see a guy miss a moonsault, okay, he knew he was going to miss.
Yes.
So he goes up, and he comes down. It's like, flat.
In midair, he realizes Steve Blackman's nowhere in the target zone.
But, so that's not what happened. He just does a flip and fucking crashes.
Yeah.
I mean, he crashes. And the best part is, Steve Blackman just stops, and he turns, and he looks at Matt's body on the ground, the moonsault he was supposed to take. He doesn't register any emotion whatsoever.
Oh.
Not, oops, I fucked up. Not, shit, I better fall down. He just looks at the guy like, I don't know why you fell out of midair next to me, but that was pretty dumb. And so he goes to pick him up, and Matt calmly small packages him and pins him. This was the funniest fucking mess up I have seen in I don't even know how long.
So
It was hilarious.
if you watched it several times, and I'm sure you did, because I did, when Matt goes up, he never even looks behind him.
No.
He puts 100% faith. As he's climbing, Steve's already in midair, and he is thinking, Steve's going to hit this kick and turn around and be there to catch me. And he goes to flip, and next time he lays eyes on Steve, Matt is now upside down in midair, and there's nothing he can do.
Yep.
And so that's what happened.
No replay.
Oh no, not even that one.
No.
Angle is backstage bragging about how great he is to a security guy. The Lugs boot of the week is Mae Young getting powerbombed through a table.
Wow.
How is that a boot? I'm not sure. Mark Henry orders Mae to stay in the back. Moolah is there to watch her.
Yes.
So it's Mark Henry versus the Dudleys in a handicap match. Bubba almost falls on his head in the backdrop and dies. And
God,
decides,
Mark decided I'm going to give Bubba Ray Dudley a backdrop. It was like time stood still.
it was simultaneously very impressive and yet also like a calamity.
Yes.
Because Bubba almost died. He had Bubba Ray Dudley over his head for a long ass time, but he never turned him over.
Yeah.
He just let go. So Bubba goes to the back. He is, of course, going after Mae. Moolah is in the bathroom. She says, I'll be there in a minute, as Bubba Ray wheels Mae out of the room and down to ringside. He runs back. They hit a 3D on Mark, but they leave him alone.
Yeah, they didn't even pin the guy.
No, but
Very important we don't beat Mark Henry here in this handicap
this
match.
handicap match. And they take May to the top of the stage, and Devon teases pushing her off, but Bubba stops him.
Bubba was actually great because as they're walking up the ramp, they're just wheeling her up the ramp. They've given her the tag team titles. They're telling her, just forget about that guy. Like, they want her to be their manager something. They're wheeling her up the ramp, and Bubba, as he's walking, he sees a table, and his eyes are glued to the table. And so literally, as he walks up the ramp, his head is stuck looking at the table. His head almost goes all the way around like an owl. They get to the top of the ramp, and Devon all of a sudden just violently starts to push the wheelchair towards the edge. Like, it's crazy, man. Bubba stops him, and he looks down at the tables, and he looks at the people. And these bloodthirsty fucks,
Or dicks.
they went crazy. They wanted him to powerbomb her off the stage through the table. And you know what this fucking guy did? He picked her up, and he gave her a Bubba bomb straight to hell, off the stage, through 2 tables. This was completely batshit crazy. I mean, this is another one of those things. They leave this on the network. Can you imagine? All of these folks that have filed concussion lawsuits against WWE, and you read about all the stuff that they claim, and you're like, oh, these cases are so horrible. They could just go to the network and grab a bunch of fucking footage, and they'd have a pretty goddamn good case. But nobody does. This was crazy.
This was nuts. They had 2 tables side by side taped together. I'd imagine reinforced at the bottom, and I think they're on a crash pad too, but still falling. I don't
She's
know,
70 fucking
8 feet, and
six.
she's a senior citizen. Yes. Do not try this at home, everyone.
She's beyond senior citizen. She's like whatever's next.
dead, Brian.
I mean, there must be something between.
I guess the elderly.
She's definitely elderly.
That's true. She is. Kurt Angle versus Chris Jericho versus Taz.
Angle just comes out like nothing happened. They didn't just powerbomb who they claim was an 80-year-old woman off the ramp through 2 tables. He just comes out for a promo. Puts over Bob Backlund.
Yep. Jericho suggests Angle and Bob are in love. Taz comes out. He's got a mic. I'm wondering what promo Taz is going to cut, and he just says, "This is no DQ now." Okay. So I can watch
It's a 3-way.
they're all no DQ, so I don't know. All I know is I could watch Taz and Kurt Angle suplex each other for hours. It's awesome. I got it for about 3 minutes here. Backlund tried to save. Taz choked him out. so Backlund's in the ring. His back isn't like totally to the ramp, but it's certainly his back to the ramp more than his face is. So China hits a low blow from behind, and Bob sells this by sailing backwards through the ropes. This is a hell of a low blow. It defied physics. Meanwhile, Kurt pinned Jericho with a belt shot.
Very good match for the 3 minutes that we had.
The 3 minutes they had. DX is backstage bragging about how they're going to beat Rikishi and Too Cool. Kevin Kelly asks Ivory her opinion on The Rock.
Wasn't she a heel the last time we saw her?
As far as I can recall, yes.
She's out here as a straight-up babyface. The Rock is the people's champion. He knows how to represent a company. If he loses tonight, the real loser will be the fans.
Yes.
It's like, that was weird. I guess she's a babyface now.
DX versus Too Cool and Rikishi. So there was this silly bit in the 21-minute opening segment where they brought out 2 minis. We're talking about how this is all done to humiliate The Rock and embarrass him. And Ross says to Lawler, "Would you take a midget match at WrestleMania?" Lawler says, "I already did. I think it was a Survivor Series, but the point stands.
Yes.
Just do your Mania match. It's fine." Rikishi, Road Dogg, and X-Pac did the best double noggin knocker spot I've ever seen, I think, where the heels got the noggins knocked, and then Rikishi had to dance, so the heels had to weeble and wobble and spin around on one leg until he hit them. I laughed and laughed and laughed. So Scotty 2 Hotty. He gets a hot tag. He's running wild. He goes through the worm. The place is chanting along. W-O-R-M. They're all going crazy. And then Scotty runs over, and he hits Hunter, and he hits X-Pac. Then he runs over to Road Dogg and picks him up. he's not finished the worm. And the fans are all pissed. And they boo. And then I hear X-Pac's voice. He's not on camera, but I clearly hear him cursing loudly. Shit and what the fuck he's saying. I don't know if he's mad at Scotty for maybe he potatoed in when he hit him in the corner, or maybe Scotty fucked up his own move and pissed off all the fans by not doing the worm, or after all this, then Scotty very carelessly tossed X-Pac to the floor. All I know is Scotty fell to the floor and X-Pac chopped the piss out of him. He was angry. Rikishi is about to bonsai drop Hunter.
Let's talk about this finish. Rikishi's making this big comeback. Do you remember, Vinny, we were just talking last week about how, God, it's the dancing fat guy and too cool, but man, they push this guy hard.
He's a killer.
He's a killer. He's a main eventer. You got a match here with Scotty 2 Hotty, the Grandmaster,
Sexay,
and Big Monster Rikishi.
Yeah.
Who do you think does the fucking job in this match?
Whoever Hunter wants.
Well, turns out it's Rikishi to Hunter.
Yes.
Rikishi goes up.
So.
Steph takes the ref. X-Pac hits Rikishi with the ring bell. Triple H pins Rikishi. I was like, well, there you go.
We have been talking
Have
about
we
this.
forgotten this era?
Apparently.
We're about to remember it.
Yeah.
The reign of terror of Triple H.
It took a while to get going. Even after he won the title, he got pinned by Vince and stuff and did occasional drops here and there. And now, after this Cactus Jack feud, it is game on.
It sure fucking is game on.
He's destroying everyone.
Let's run through everybody. The moment they start to get over,
Yes.
it is time to do a job.
Yep.
Then we'll tell them the wins and losses don't matter.
Right.
Don't worry about it.
The Big Boss Man goes for a walk backstage. Kane goes for a walk, finds The Rock. They have a stare down, but then Kane tells him good luck.
Good luck.
Big Boss Man versus Kane.
I don't understand why this was happening or why I should care.
Thank you.
The match is over. I still don't know.
I watched this. Everything on Raw at this point was to set up something else, which in and of itself is not a complaint. Nothing pointless is on Raw. Sometimes it's stupid. Sometimes it's boring. But everything fits into some kind of grand storyline somewhere. This was two hosses got in there. They had a wrestling match. Kane hit his move and pinned him.
Yeah.
Okay. That was weird. The only clean finish on the show is for Kane and the Big Boss Man.
Well, maybe they were looking over the show and they went, we don't have one fucking clean finish on this show.
I guess.
Get me Kane and Boss Man, pal.
Goddamn.
They'll tear it up.
Yeah. Kevin Kelly interviews The Godfather, who predicts The Rock will win.
All right, so next up we have Michael Cole. And Michael Cole is standing there with the fabulous Moolah. Michael Cole begins to ask his fucking question. His question is, Moolah, how do you feel about what happened to Mae Young? I'm like, you goddamn asshole. That's the fucking question you come up with. Mae Young has been killed. How the fuck do you think fabulous Moolah feels? Well, boy, did I feel like an idiot.
You dumbass.
When I did not get the answer I was expecting from Fabulous Moolah. Fabulous Moolah, in response to what I thought was the dumbest fucking question I've heard since Fastlane, says, I don't give a shit. There would be no Mae Young without me. Mae came in here, she started showing her puppies, she stole my spotlight. I don't give a shit if this bitch ever comes back. I went, what? What?
That's not quite a direct quote. It's very close. It's very close.
Apparently, this was the year that Fabulous Moolah wrote her book, and they wanted her to be over as a babyface. And so their idea was, we must first make her a hated heel, then we will turn her and she will be a beloved babyface.
Interesting.
You couldn't just have her be a babyface? It was the most fucking bizarre thing that I have no memory of, by the way.
I just like this glimpse into Moolah's priorities. This is a quote. She's talking about Mae. She says, she disgraced this organization by showing her puppies, giving birth, and stealing my spotlight.
Yeah.
Well, okay. It was a hell of a promo, to be honest.
Yeah, hell of a promo. It was awesome.
Speaking of awesome, not that anyone gave a damn, S.A. Rios and Dean Malenko.
Yeah.
A fun match.
And it is true, no one gave a
No
shit.
one cared at all.
No.
talking about The Rock, and Jerry Lawler says, you know what, if he loses his job here, he'd always have a career as a TV host. He's not wrong. So Eddie Guerrero gets in the apron. Eddie's had his arm in a sling. Now, if you watch the show, it's very clear he's still wearing this thing, but doesn't need to. It's flying off all the time. So SA knocks him off the apron. Lita tries to Hurricane Rana Eddie.
Oh,
Eddie,
do you guys remember on Nitro in 1995 when Chris Benoit gave Eddie Guerrero like the most brutal powerbomb ever in the history of wrestling? Well, I don't know why, but Eddie decided now's my chance
I'm going to pay it forward.
to get my revenge on Chris Benoit by giving Lita the hardest fucking powerbomb in WWE history onto the mat outside the ring.
Yeah.
Like, I know she broke her neck doing a stunt on a TV show shoot, but like, this fucking did not help.
No.
This was brutal.
Yeah. And I was so flabbergasted by that. Dean won with some kind of cradle. I'm not quite sure what
He
happened.
sat forward into a cradle and won.
But yeah, so Dean
The
Malenko,
new light heavyweight champion.
new light heavyweight champion in a tremendous match that did not get over with this crowd.
Yep. In the vein of Gilbert, numerous other luminaries,
Taka Michinoku.
Dean Malenko now the light
Christian.
heavyweight champion.
Terry goes to hire the APA.
Didn't a woman win?
Probably.
What the fuck was it?
The
Stupid thing
this
they did.
light heavyweight title is not the best. Terry goes to hire the APA. Midian is also there. His beer is warm. That's what I got out of that entire bit.
Midian goes, I'll get colder ice.
Edge and Christian versus the APA. The gimmick for Edge and Christian at this point, which I'm not making up, they are on a losing streak, but they are also the top contenders for the tag titles. So they've always done stupid shit like this. Crowd doesn't care about the match. They're just chanting for Terry and her puppies. Midian gets in the ring. Not a DQ. Edge spears him, but then turns around, and Bradshaw to clothesline from hell and pins him. And so ENC beat up Midian, and that's it.
Whoop-de-doo.
Yes. The Big Show and Shane McMahon are backstage ignoring Michael Cole. Earlier today, the posse jumped Crash Holly at the luggage terminal of the airport and tried to take his title.
Very clear this was pre-9/11.
Yes.
Ain't gonna fly in the airport today.
No. There's
Just fucking around in the airport. We've got a camera there, beating the shit out of each other.
there's
with
this
a
randomly a
conveyor
guy
belt.
climbing a ladder to get knocked off.
Yeah, why was he on a fucking ladder?
He's fixing a light or something, but as a brawl breaks out, he just stays on top of the ladder until he gets knocked off. So in the melee, Pete Gas actually pins Crash Holly to become the new hardcore champion.
Yeah, it's funny because last week the posse couldn't agree on who was going to be the champion. So, like this week, they all piled on top of the guy. The ref counted the pin, and Pete Gas, I guess, was on the bottom of the pile, and so he was declared the champion.
His music plays
They
somehow
played his fucking music in the airport.
at the airport. But then Crash goes to the luggage rack where his luggage is the scale that he flies around the country.
Yeah, he fucking checks his scale.
Checks his scale. He picks up the scale, waffles Pete with it, repins him, regains the belt, grabs his belt, grabs his bag, and runs down the conveyor belt into the bowels of the luggage department.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. It's funny.
This is good stuff, actually, if we're being honest. This Crash Holly 24/7 rule is good stuff. Shane McMahon cuts a promo on behalf of the Big Show. The Headbangers are asked for their prediction. They say the Big Show will win.
Are you happy to see them back, Vinny?
They do awful comedy.
Begging to see them again?
What team was it I said? It was almost. Oh, it was Lean and Idol, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
They both suck. They all suck. Test and Val Venus versus Chris Benoit and Perry Saturn.
They noted that Val had taken a few weeks off with a sprained neck.
Sounds bad.
That sounds horrible. Excuse me, I sprained my neck. Dude. Just quit.
So they had a short match. Eddie distracts Test. Then he hit Test, and Benoit won with a German suplex.
They very, very quickly rushed this match, rushed the finish, rushed to cut away to the back for The Rock versus the Big Show.
Rock and Big Show were walking.
Now listen, everyone. You guys remember Fastlane on Sunday? Fastlane on Sunday was Becky Lynch against Charlotte Flair. Becky wins. She goes on to WrestleMania. Here we are in the year 2000. 19 goddamn years ago. If The Rock wins this match, he goes on to WrestleMania. But if he loses, you'll never see him again. He would have made no movies. Very, very historically important match. So I'd like to add, by the way, that here we are in the year 2000, and they've got The Big Show as a setup guy for the babyface going into WrestleMania. And if you recall, they did the same goddamn thing in 1999. So for going on 20 years, this has been the Big Show's role.
Yeah.
All the way up to Roman Reigns.
The Mania gatekeeper.
You're the big guy that must be beaten to get to WrestleMania. So they do this match, and I must say, I fucking was ready to just do something else for a living when Shane came out there as the fucking heel ref. And he's fucking doing the old fast count. But if The Rock lifts his shoulder, he stops counting. Because he'll cheat, but just to a degree. Can you imagine if this were happening in 2019, these asshole fans on social media trying to tell us how awesome this is? I mean, can you imagine? We'd have to be putting up with that. It's such fucking horse shit. So, The Rock, he has the win, but Shane's not there. Big Show makes a cover. Shane does the fast count. They're fucking the guy left and right. Finally, a car arrives. Out of the back comes Vince McMahon. He begins to storm to the ringside area. Shane is aghast. Hunter and Steph, who were watching on backstage, they're aghast. Dad came home early. Party's over. Hunter goes to confront him. Vince McMahon punches out the WWE champion.
Yes.
Who just pinned Rikishi, I might add.
Yes.
He storms down to the ring. He punches out his son, Shane McMahon. He rips off Shane's shirt and he puts it on himself. Because it's only official if the guy's wearing a fucking shirt with stripes on it. So as soon as he gets this thing on, ends up with Rock hitting the rock bottom. Vince counts the pin, and the place goes absolutely bonkers.
This was nuts.
They go apeshit crazy. Jim Ross's call was absolutely incredible. So, point of all of this. 19 years ago, they did a very, very similar storyline to what they are doing right now with Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda. And although I hated the goddamn heel referee bullshit because it's complete bullshit, the fact of the matter is, in this story, The Rock was getting fucked right and left unfairly. He almost had it won, but he would get fucked. He almost had it won, but the referee's gone. He almost gets screwed with a fast count. He is a victim here, but he's not complaining about it. He's just doing his damnedest to try to win. And Vince comes out, and what does Vince do? He evens the odds, and he makes it so that The Rock can be victorious. Rock hit his move and got the pin when Vince counted. About 2 weeks ago, I said the storyline is way worse than Becky, Ronda, Charlotte. 180. Becky, Ronda, Charlotte is so much worse than this storyline. Becky Lynch out there, her character is an idiot. Her character can't solve any problems by herself. Her character just fails left and right. She failed at the pay-per-view, and she needed Ronda to come down and kick her to get her into the WrestleMania main event.
Yeah.
The day has come where the booking of the 2000 WrestleMania is not that bad in hindsight. Like, can you imagine? I can't, but I just saw it with my own eyes. This fucking worked.
Oh, we're great.
Big.
This worked huge.
Now, once Linda shows up, I may go 180 again. That's possible.
Always reserve the right to change our mind.
Yes. Yes, Vinny. We always can change our mind.
Yeah.
Because we're normal fucking people. We don't have to stick to a belief in light of evidence to the contrary.
Right.
Like some shitheads. I have been given evidence that, in fact, this 2000 WrestleMania build is better than what they're doing with Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda. And thus, as a logical, rational, normal human being, I have changed my mind. Thank you.
Do you have my music ready?
I do, Vinny.
Thank you, sir.
Allow me to play it here.
It's appreciated.
Thank you.
The finishes on the show were clean pin, I guess it was one. No finish in a handicap match. Pin after belt shot in a no DQ match. Pin after bell shot in a trios match. Clean pin. Pin after distraction. Pin after distraction. Pin after interference. And then pin after one ref took out another ref. And a third ref laid out the first ref and then counted the pin.
Who wasn't a ref?
There, in the Shane match, Shane got bumped.
Well, I'm just saying that Vince was not a ref.
Well, the first ref was Shane, the second ref was Earl, the third ref was Vince.
Okay. But I mean, to be fair, Vince really wasn't a ref, but he's in charge.
Well, Brian, he had a shirt on.
He did put a fucking shirt on.
Who am I to argue with Vince McMahon? WCW Monday Nitro number 234, March 13th of the year 2000.
6 days away from uncensored.
This is really the go-home show?
Yeah.
That's okay.
Why was the show an hour and 40 minutes? 10 extra minutes today. I was very mad.
I don't know. I don't know what was on the show that needed 10 more minutes.
Nothing.
Yeah. So, backstage, Flair apologizes to Lex for what Arn did Wednesday night.
We don't know what it is.
No.
They never told us.
Confirms he wants to ride with Team Package.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Give me that face, Rob.
Get mad at me.
Ric Flair wants to ride with Team Package. Because he's the nature boy.
So then Flair comes out for a promo. He promises Arn will apologize, then calls Arn out. And then Flair, I think he just lost grip with reality. He's writing about the Horsemen. They had 4,000 women.
He's crazy.
Now
I love it.
Now it's Team Package, but we still got all the women. Arn says, you and I...
He's got one woman. What's he talking about?
They do have one woman. That's Lex's.
Yeah.
Arn talks about how when they were the Horsemen, they earned everyone's respect by dumping buckets of blood. They did not do it by process of elimination, by busting everyone's arm and try to compete with them. They did slam Dusty Rhodes' arm in a car door. Just saying.
That's just a guy.
So...
It wasn't everybody.
Arn said, that's true, it was just the one guy. Arn says we want to go our separate ways as friends, but before I do, I have something to say to Hulk Hogan. He calls out the Hulkster. He promises Hulk, I will not interfere in your strap match with Ric Flair. I am removing myself from this whole shooting match, and he walks away. Flair, of course, is appalled.
What?
Like, by Ric Flair standards, he was overacting.
He was crazy.
Hogan says Flair has been counting on Arn for...
Everybody is better when they stop giving a shit.
That's true.
And boy, fucking Flair.
It's out the door.
He's incredible in this feud.
Hogan says Flair's been counting on Arn for 20 years. He hits the ring and they brawl. And then Lex attacks Hulk with a bat.
I absolutely love Crazy Flair.
He was very crazy here.
He was insane, and it was so awesome. His reactions to Arn, like things that Arn said, is just out of his mind. It's just great.
This is the week I started skipping the Nitro Party bullshit.
Well, it's just more spring breakout stuff. Craig can recap it next week.
Okay. The doctors tend to the Hulkster. He was taken to the hospital in an ambulance.
Maybe that's what they need 10 extra minutes for. Spring breakout.
It probably is. Gotta get Ricky Rackman his TV time. You know what could have used 10 more minutes? Free counting Young Dragons.
So, for those of you that didn't watch originally, they're the Young Dragons, except it's spelled J-U-N-G, because it's WCW, you know? Just weird. Someone was reading Carl Jung and thought, fuck Young. J-U-N-G, Young Dragons. Jesus Christ. The same person decided, we have Jamie Noble, a white guy.
3
playing Asian
men. Well, Kaz Hayashi was Japanese.
Yeah, but Jamie Noble is not Asian.
No.
So they don't put a fucking mask on him and give him an Asian name.
They don't put a hood on him.
They put a Zorro mask on him and call him Jamie San.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Hey, that's all kinds of stupid.
You don't fucking say.
But you know what? It's Jamie Noble.
It was.
And if it means I get to watch Jamie Noble wrestle, then yay!
This match was awesome.
Yeah.
The fans went crazy for it. 6 young guys just out there doing everything they could think of, practically killing each other. 10 train wreck spots in one
just dive after dive after dive after dive.
It was just awesome.
You know what this looked like? I'm sure you've seen the clips from the 50s. I think it's in France. There's like spring-loaded platforms around the ring. Guys dive like 20 feet in the air.
I have not seen this.
Oh, it's out there. I'll look it up.
Sounds amazing.
Well, that's what this match looked like. They just didn't have the platforms. They were just jumping all over the place.
Yeah, those were being used by mat rats.
I guess so.
Yeah.
And then Shannon Moore pins Jamie Son with a sleeper slam.
This is what WCW needed to be,
Yes.
but it was just one match and then we moved on.
Was awesome.
Was Man out to lunch, or fans are chanting 3 count sucks, and he claimed they were chanting for 3 counts.
He's a heel announcer.
Okay, I wasn't sure if he was just wrong.
He's trying to...
I realize that most of the time he's, playing heel, but...
Team Package celebrates taking out Hogan, and Flair should have mentioned that Liz has something special lined up for him later.
Wow.
We never found out what that was. As Kurt Hennig arrives at the building, Arn Anderson confronts him, wishes him good luck, but leaves and says, I don't know if I'll be back.
He says, this business does not even remotely resemble what it used to be.
Well,
Like, preaching to the choir, baby. And they go, where are you going? I'm off to see my kids. It's like, this is fucking me right now.
it is. You are the enforcer,
I
Brian
don't
Alvarez.
get this business anymore, and I just want to go play with Paisley.
Yes. Bam Bam Bigelow goes for a walk. The Wall walks downstairs.
That doesn't seem possible.
I know, it does not. If you don't know, if you're
It
new to the
seems
show.
like one of those drawings that the stairs go up, but you don't know where they go.
I guess so. Silver King and El Dandy are backstage going after fan mail. Or going through fan mail.
They got a lot.
They got tons of fan mail.
Yeah.
Miss Hancock shows up, Stacy Keibler. She's very impressed by all their fan mail. And El Dandy says to her with an accent so thick, I can only assume he did not speak English at all and they had to spell it out for him phonetically before this was filmed. He asks her, and this is a quote, do we not excite your groin? Do we not excite your groin?
Yeah.
The answer was no, El Dandy. You do not excite Miss Hancock's groin.
Yes.
She was offended. I know it's hard to believe. This didn't turn her on. She left.
He was explaining that where they were from, they were great superstars.
Well, yeah. The Wall versus Bam Bam Bigelow.
God damn it. So it's Bam Bam versus the Wall, and Wall handcuffs him to the corner for the fucking DQ.
43 seconds.
And like later, they actually set up the Wall versus Bam Bam Bigelow no DQ at the pay-per-view. I know I've seen that match twice in like the last month on this show. What are we watching this match again for? Fucking Crowbar and David are out there in neck braces. Crowbar gets in the ring, and here's what happens, okay? Crowbar's got a neck brace on. So the idea is he's supposed to give Wall like a shot with a lead pipe, but his neck hurts so he can barely swing it. But like the Wall still sells it like he swung it like a baseball bat. So for everybody that makes fun of Lance's chair shots in ECW, I mean, check this spot out. It's beyond ridiculous. The Wall and Crowbar both do a spot, they fall down, and then Wall choke slams both guys. Some asshole is fucking ringing the bell incessantly.
Between the bell ringing, Daphne screaming, and Bam Bam Bigelow saying, "Give me the key!" over and over again. This is the most irritating goddamn thing.
Yep.
It went forever.
So Wall puts Crowbar on a table, and he choke slams David off the apron through Crowbar and the table, okay? Now, they played it up like it was a career-ending injury for both of them. And I'm watching it going, that was a fucking easy bump for David. Just landed on the crowbar. They both went through a table. And sure as shit later, when they're loading people into the ambulance, David's fine. Crowbar's the one being loaded in.
In fact, David was wearing a neck brace at the start of this segment. I don't think he had one later. So he came out of this spot better than he was going in.
I believe he was wearing the neck brace when he loaded
Maybe
in the
I'm wrong.
ambulance.
All I know is when Flair got chokeslammed through Crowbar, Bam Bam Bigelow, who suddenly now cares about these guys a lot, as he's handcuffed in the corner, he screams, "No!" like Darth Vader. Jarrett promo takes like 5 minutes coming out just to eject women and send them to the back. Has a highlight reel of himself hitting Sid with guitars and pinning him. Challenges Sid to find a partner and face the Harrises in a tag team match tonight.
Okay, Vinny, I wrote it down.
Okay, go ahead.
Word for word.
All right, go ahead.
Sid comes out and he says, I've got 3 things to say. I did not write down 2 and 3 because they were irrelevant after 1. He said, and I quote, at Uncensored, I am going to take your smart-ass mouth and rip it 8 feet wide, and I'll slip old slapnuts right in. To which Mark Mann said, and I quote, what?
Yes.
I'm going to take your smart-ass mouth and rip it 8 feet wide, and I'll slip old slapnuts right in.
What?
Wow.
What?
So whatever the rest of this was, whatever the rest of it was, I was peeling myself off the floor.
Now, he did have another line where he says, because Jarrett claimed to have Sid's number, because he's pinned him a bunch of times. And Sid says, you don't have my number. There's only one number you need. It's 911. Now, I understand why you didn't notice he said this, because it came after he threatened to slip slapnuts right in. But I thought that was good. He says he'd be happy to kick the Harris's ass by himself, but there are people lining up to join him backstage, including this man. And out comes Vampiro, who's still getting that new guy in the main event scene push. Crowbar goes out in an ambulance. Bam Bam is cutting this promo on the wall for Uncensored, but you can barely hear him because Sid's music is playing over him. All I hear is Sid's music for most of this. Gene interviews Harlem Heat. So it's Stevie Ray versus Disco Inferno tonight. And then Harlem Heat versus Booker and Kidman, also tonight, actually. They warned Kidman he can't trust Booker.
Yeah, they were fucking feuding the last time I remember. I guess they got together last week, but they definitely feuded. Then we get a shot of this dude with the big fake biceps.
The bicep implants.
They announced he made it into the Guinness Book of World Records. I'm like, are you kidding me? You've just destroyed all of my faith in the Guinness Book World Records. I couldn't even believe it. So, Paul Orndorff is back there, and he's just marking out for this guy's arms, recruiting him for the power plant. That did not go far.
No. As I recall, well, I don't recall him at all, but I don't think we ever see him again. Kidman and Booker versus Lane and Rave. So I was right the first time. Harlem Heat versus Kidman and Booker for the pay-per-view. It's Lane and Rave tonight, and yes, your ears are working. It's Rave now and not Idol. I don't know what was wrong with Idol, but now he is Rave. So Miss Hancock is out there. She's talking about how much she likes Kidman. Tori makes her point to walk over and let her know Kidman is taken. So Booker comes in without a tag. And he's running wild and kicking their ass. And he goes up top, but before he can do the missile dropkick, Kidman pins Lane with a schoolboy. This makes Booker upset.
So,
because apparently he's a dick.
I was Googling this big-armed feller. I found this article from the Boston Globe in 2012. It's about a different guy. I just want to read this here. Massachusetts bodybuilder Mustafa Ismail eats 7 pounds of protein, 9 pounds of carbohydrates, and drinks 3 gallons of water each day. 12 maintain upper arms that measure 31 inches around, as big as a small man's waist. That's 2-3 inches bigger than my waist, I might add.
Yeah.
Skeptics say there must also be steroids or some other artificial means behind Ismail's beyond bulging biceps and triceps, and Guinness World Records is waffling on whether to recognize him.
Huh.
Yep.
I mean, anyway, I don't care. Kurt Hennig is walking.
Gonna care when I send you this picture.
Lex and Liz are walking. We got Lex Luger versus Kurt Hennig. In exactly 99 seconds, Ric Flair attacks with a DQ. And then Hulk Hogan, who had driven his own ambulance back to the building, chases them away and challenges them to a tag match for later.
Yeah, nothing match, but at least we got something cool for later.
So Vampiro is backstage in the dark, in the bowels of the building. And he's cutting this promo about how his pain lasts forever. You call me a freak, and it's true, I am a freak. He's trying to be all sad and brooding and self-loathing. Meanwhile, Hulk Hogan's real American theme is blasting.
Yeah, they just kept the music.
Got the red, white, and blue running through his veins. And Vampiro's like, I'm a freak.
Okay.
I like pain.
So up to this point, the show was just like a Nitro show. And then this became a WCW Nitro show. First, Knobs is looking for the dog. The dog is in the bathroom drinking out of the toilet. 'Cause he's a dog. He's punished. We go to a Sid promo. Then we have the dog versus Norman Smiley. This was, okay, let's see what I've written here. Gigantic waste of time. Awful, awful, awful. Fucking terrible. This is all this segment right here. Demon runs down and attacks Knobs during dog versus Norman Smiley. Y'all confused yet? Demon spits blood and is attacked by Lenny and Lodi. Norman makes the dog submit to the Norman Conquest. The dog bites the ref, who was a legit mailman in real life. That was actually true when they claimed that on television. Norman then gives the big wiggle to the fucking dog. And then Knobs cuts a promo, challenges anybody to a hardcore match right now. They cut backstage, and there's Terry Funk, who says, "Hardcore my ass. I'll show him hardcore," which leads to Terry Funk versus Knobs in a hardcore match, in which Shannon Moore and Evan Courageous run in. They alert us that Shane broke his nose earlier in the night, so he's unavailable. Evan lays out Knobs, throws Funk on top for the pin. There's shit everywhere in the ring. 3 count then turns on Funk. They drop kick him out of the ring. They start dancing. Knobs lays them out with lariats. Madden just can't even figure out what's going on now. His brain short circuits. Funk hits the ring with a fucking chicken. He starts hitting people with a chicken.
Yeah.
Shannon Moore takes the most violent bump for a chicken ever in the history of wrestling. He takes a flip bump and lands on his head and shoulders. Dustin Rhodes is out now. I don't even know what happened from there. Like, my notes just, like,
You gave up.
they trickle off. What happened?
Dustin hit him with a bull rope.
That was the worst, like, 10 minutes of wrestling, if you want to even call it that I've seen in fucking forever. That was horrible.
I'm gonna rewind a bit here. So, in the Sid promo, when Gene is interviewing Sid is whispering. He's being very intense. He suggests tonight might be the final nail in the coffin of the Harrises. Now, the nail in the coffin is Vampiro's finish. So he's whispering this. He stops and just screams, "No! It'll be the power bomb!" I love Sid. Dog versus Norman Smiley. As you mentioned, we had Norman giving the dog the big wiggle twice. In fact, you missed some stuff here. Norman gives the dog the big wiggle. Knobs goes to take the collar off the dog, but he can't get the chain undone. For like 15 seconds, he's trying to get this chain off. Finally, he just gives up. The dog is walking around with the collar around his neck. The dog takes the referee and they distract each other. Knobs goes in the apron so the demon can distract him. Lane and Rave attack the demon. Norman wins the Norman Conquest. This match with 6 men, 58 seconds to do all this shit. Then we have the dog chasing Norman away. Then they're doing shit chasing Norman backstage. Then we have the Knobs challenging the demon or anyone else against Terry Funk. They do this 3-minute hardcore match. It's 3 minutes of hitting dudes with weapons, and 3 count interferes, and Funk wins. Then it's Terry Funk. Did you mention it was a raw chicken?
Yeah.
I swear to God, he's slapping guys with his raw chicken. There are chunks of salmonella flying through the air.
Yes.
This was so fucking gross.
We saw this last week.
This is worse, because last week I did not see, there were actually chunks of chicken flying off, probably going into the crowd and infecting children.
There was a dead animal in the ring on WCW.
There biological warfare is
Yeah.
going on. And then Dustin hits Funk with a bull rope. Yes, this is all terrible. Terrible.
Horrible. And I've now relived it 3 times, you fucker.
Jeff Jarrett tells the Harrises he will not go out with them. He's going to pick his spot. Sid and Vampiro are going for a walk. So on Thunder, Finlay and Vampiro are brawling. And Finlay promises at the pay-per-view he's going to pin Vampiro in the bathroom after giving him a swirly.
Yes, that is in fact what he promised. I will flush your head down this toilet and then I will beat you.
Yes. Sid and Vampiro against the Harrises.
Hey, I gotta say, the crowd was crazy hot for this match. Like,
They're into Sid.
they actually made a match involving the Harris brothers enjoyable.
Yeah.
Because they were so into it.
The crowd loves Sid. The crowd started to love Vampiro because he's the new face in the scene and they haven't buried him yet. Haven't cut him off yet. There were lots of empty seats in this hard cam, I will note. So the whole match is Vampiro getting beat up for 4 minutes, but fighting back and asking for more, refusing to die. And finally, after 4 minutes, Sid tags himself in. He grabs a Harris. He power bombs him and he pins him.
Yes, that's what happened.
Sid was in this match for 10 seconds.
Yeah, gotta get that shit done.
I guess so. Gene promises later on the show he will interview Hogan, Hennig, Luger, and Flair. Not together. Yeah, but separately. He delivers on this promise after the break. He's interviewing Team Package. They promise to break Hogan's arm tonight. Stevie Ray versus the Disco Inferno.
So before the match, the Harris twins attack the Mamalukes outside. So the Mamalukes have been laid out. Why did the Harris twins attack the Mamalukes? Why are the Harris twins helping Harlem Heat? This is very out of character.
I believe the Harris twins have a title shot against the Mamalukes at the pay-per-view.
I see.
I could be wrong.
So, okay. Well, anyway, Disco wants help. There's no help. He's beaten up forever, and he's pinned. Did I miss anything?
Details. Disco is
Did I miss any important details?
No, but I'm going to talk about them anyway because they're important to me. Disco tells the Mamalukes, wait for my cue. And he turns and leaves to go to the ring. He takes 2 steps, and here come the Harrises to fight the Mamalukes. It's impossible to believe he didn't see or hear this. So the fight's already going on before he's even out in the ring. He goes down the ringside. He calls Harlem Heat 3 Fat Alberts. He calls J-Biggs J.J. Walker. He issues a challenge for Harlem Heat to face the Mamalukes, so he doesn't have to face Stevie Ray. But the Mamalukes don't show up, so he has to do a match. They kick his ass. He's begging for help the whole time. They're triple teaming him in front of the ref. Nobody cares. Stevie wins with a slapjack. Match goes 95 seconds. That was it.
I'm glad that was important to you, Vinny.
Gene interviews Hogan and Hennig. They promise...
Finally, this is something important to me.
Okay.
So, first off, Curt Hennig says, this team right here, himself and Hulk Hogan, it's the greatest thing in wrestling history. That's what he said. It's the greatest thing I thought I was prone to hyperbole. Curt Hennig has deemed himself and Hogan the greatest thing in wrestling history. So, Hulk explains that this match tonight makes a lot of sense, brother. Who would have ever thought it was uncensored tonight in Providence, he says. Then, a direct quote. And we're going to do some serious strapation tonight, brother. With a strap on those 2 chumps. He could barely spit it out. And then he adds, it's uncensored tonight. In Providence. He said Providence. I wish I would have had time to go back and do the Providence count for Hulk Hogan. He was determined to be over as a babyface. And so he was going to name drop this fucking town 50 times on this show. It was comedy in this segment. How many times he had to mention and Providence here? In Providence. Providence. It's uncensored tonight. In Providence. And there's going to be some serious strapation, brother.
Strapation.
On these 2 chumps. Hogan called them chumps. I loved it. That was important to me.
So we had Team Package versus Curt Hennig and Hulk Hogan.
Dave hated this match at the time.
Yeah.
I thought it was all right.
It's very similar to the Hennig Flair match we talked about last week. You get a bunch of old dudes in there. All they want to do is brawl and chop.
Sure.
Well, they do a great job brawling and chopping.
They worked their asses off. There was great heat.
Mm-hmm.
Hogan sold and sold and sold.
The heat on Hogan.
Yep.
Team.
Hennig got in there, and it broke down into a 4-way, and I thought it was good.
This is a fun main event.
Yeah. It went a long time, too, for these 4 guys.
Mm-hmm.
Probably went like 9-10 minutes.
Which on this show is an eternity.
Yeah.
So eventually, it breaks down into a 4-way. As the ref's back is turned, Curt Hennig and Jimmy Hart are both hit with the notorious baseball bat. So Hogan tries to use a belt, the weightlifting belt, but the ref takes it away, so Hogan shoves the ref down for the DQ. Fun match until then. So Liz from behind hits Hogan with a bat. Things look dark for our heroes, and then all hell breaks loose. The lights go out. For a moment, it appeared the sound went out as well.
It was fun. It was really weird.
It was very weird.
Like the lights went out and all of a sudden there was no sound.
I thought my computer just died.
It made me think that like it was all piped in crowd cheering.
It may have been.
And the power went out.
It may have been. So in the darkness, I can see people fighting. I'm like, is that Hogan and Lex? No, is that Sting and Lex?
No, it's Vampiro.
Yeah, he's
Why
back.
is Vampiro fighting with Ric Flair?
I don't know.
What happened? Wait, what? He's friends with Sid or something?
I don't know. So Vampiro was out there fighting with Flair. Now here comes Sting making his full entrance in the spotlight with the music and everything. Sting attacks Lex. Now, I cannot say this was as loud as the pop as Rock winning on
No.
Raw at about the same time.
But it was a very big pop.
My God, they love Sting. And
Yeah.
they love watching Sting beat up Lex Luger. So, yeah, Vampiro and Ric Flair, who do not have a match together, brawl to the back. Why are Vampiro and Ric Flair brawling?
I don't know. Maybe check Uncensored 2000, see if they had a match.
Building this for a year? Or it was 2000.
It is 2000, you idiot.
I don't know. A very weird show.
Let's find out Uncensored 2000. Let's find out if Flair and Vamp.
It's supposed to be Flair and Hogan
God damn, you're right.
in the strap match.
What the fuck am I talking about?
I don't know.
Let's see here. Vampiro beat... Oh, it's Vampiro and Fit Finley.
As Fit Finley promised.
Yeah.
earlier. Why were Ric
I
Flair...
have no idea why then. He just... It got dark. He needed some pain.
I guess he did. I guess he did need some pain.
All I know is I watched this show and they tried to build a pay-per-view.
He did.
They tried.
He tried. I can tell you 3
They
or 4 of the big matches.
Failed. Nobody bought this
I
pay-per-view.
have no desire to watch this at all.
It did a horrible buy rate. Like, I think, if I recall correctly, the year before did like a 1.1 buy rate, and this did a 0.1, like a tenth of what it did the year before.
That's poor then.
Very, very poor. This place is dead. But I mean, they tried. I got to give credit. They tried, but can't win them all. All right, Vinny, your music. Are you ready?
Ready when you are, sir. The finishes on this show were clean pin, DQ in 43 seconds, clean pin, DQ in 99 seconds, submission after bullshit with chain and interference from 4 men in 58 seconds, pin after interference in a 3-minute hardcore match, clean pin, pin after interference in 95 seconds, the 4th match on this show that went less than 100 seconds, and then a DQ when the ref gets shoved down.
That's a lot of short matches.
There's a lot of
I can't believe that match that I don't even know which one you were talking about, but which one was it? Was Terry Funk Knobs, or which was it? Dog and Norman Smiley was only 90 seconds.
Dog Norman Smiley was less than a minute.
Dude, that's inconceivable.
The actual match was.
That felt like it went on for like an hour.
It was a horrible minute.
My God, that was a minute?
That was a minute.
Okay, when I'm on my deathbed, I want you to load this fucking tape up. Because it'll be an eternity before I go.
forever. And you'll be so happy when you finally die.
Well, hey, that's 2 birds with 1 stone.
There you go.
Hadn't thought about that. All right, that's it, everybody. We're going to wrap it up for today. I'll be back tomorrow with Observer Live. We had a hell of an Observer Live today, everybody.